Hey Flopbots, it's me, FaolanCortez, and welcome back to the channel because we have got something brand new to show. Today is going to be a different type of video for you guys because since I'm moving soon and all of my equipment has been packed up, leaving me with no room to record anything, I thought I might as well make a top 10 list. It's going to be a fancy one because look behind me. Ta-da! And behind each one of them will be the top 10 best Friendship is Magic episodes. And these are taken from official sources and not my own. So I'm obviously going to be going by IMDb's top ranked episodes. So don't you dare go to that website. Just enjoy this video. It's going to be like a personalized experience and some of my own thoughts on these episodes that are hiding behind each and every one of these pieces of paper. So how about we just roll into it? To start us off, we're going to be starting with the 10th top rated episode of Friendship is Magic, and it is Pinkie Pride. This was an episode to experience, and I fairly enjoy it as well, and I think it deserves like this spot on the list. It's one of my personal favorites from Pinkie. Pinkie Pride was just brilliantly crafted. With the introduction of the hilarious cheese sandwich voiced by the wonderful Weird Al, it sets up a nice rivalry between him and Pinkie Pie. Her feeling upstaged by him was drawn out to a comedic degree that works perfectly as they duel in a goof-off.
Cause all I really need is a smile from these happy friends of mine.
That's my song!
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I can't forget about those fourth wall break moments with reality being pushed into the middle of the episode. That was just lovely fun. Pinkie discovering the true reality of friendship as she accepts defeat. My god, that was such a beautiful moment. It kind of made me feel teary the first time I watched it. This episode is undoubtedly one of Amy Keating Rogers' best scripts. And in 9th place, we have Sounds of Silence. Oh my god, do I remember this episode. And it's actually my favorite from the 8th season. Like, wow. It's such a lackluster season like season 8. When you get an exceptional episode like Sounds of Silence, you know this story is one to remember. Sounds of Silence is my favorite and it's so deserving of its recognition. Bringing in a new mythical creature of elegant design, the Chirons, and to learn that they vowed themselves to never speak again. That's a deep thought, encouraging us to think about how words can have a diverse effect on some people. Applejack and Fluttershy are a pairing that surprisingly works. Autumn Blaze is an adorable addition and the musical number is always delightful to listen to.
You can't give up your laughter cause you're scared of a little pain. It's a lesson that the Kirin never learned.
Why Gregory Bonsigno wasn't brought back for more episodes shocks me. Now I gotta switch over to this side because we're gonna make room for the 8th rated episode of them all. And it is... oh no, Slice of Life with a 9.1, guys? What? No, I must be dreaming because this episode does not deserve to be in the top 10. I'm sorry to those of you that like this episode, but to me, this episode just let me down. Now hear me out, I don't hate Slice of Life. I only think it's a disappointing excuse of a special. It's painfully average in storytelling, and I get what the production team were going for, but it's badly executed. The episode has a lot of fun moments involving Dr. Hooves, Derpy, the adorable duo of Octavia and Vinyl, and the fact they sneakily acknowledge the fan base in a single frame. Like, that did crack me up. Like, why would you include something like that in an episode? You are brave, Hasbro. Although Slice of Life misses the bar so many times for an interesting story. The main six just being pushed into the background for the majority, like they're acting like they never existed. The background characters get one episode in the spotlight, but they're forgotten afterwards, and that annoys me.
And it's not just the main characters in our stories that make life so rich. It's every pony. Those who play big parts and those who play small.
It feels like there's too much going on and too little going on at the same time, and it feels rushed too. Slice of Life is a massive shitpost episode, but it's a fun one. However, it's not a top 10. I'm sorry. Right, now hopefully number 7 will give us something more encouraging. Here we go. And in 7th place is... Amending Fences. Oh, that is an interesting choice because I did not expect this to be in the top 10. I guess my opinions have backfired. Like, this was a really good story to watch and just seeing Twilight going back to Canterlot and reliving all the old memories with her old friends. That was unexpectedly sweet. Amending Fences perfectly encapsulates that feeling of going through your school yearbook and remembering your old friends that you once had. What masterful storytelling of Twilight trying her hardest to rekindle with Moondancer, whose personality evolved into one that our protagonist had before moving to Ponyville in the first 2 episodes.
I just need to be alone so I can study without a bunch of crazy ponies trying to make friends all the time.
I just need to be alone so I can study without some crazy pony trying to make friends, all right?
You can truly relate to and understand both sides' thoughts on each other before it climaxes emotionally with Moondancer imploding from her own humiliation. Twilight Sparkle's character shines through all of the mental obstacles that her past friend throws her way, and the epilogue was just fantastic. Talk about payoff when her former friends come together to show friendship really can be magic with the last party. From what I can say, Amending Fences is rightfully loved. We are right now at number 6, and it is Crusaders of the Lost Mark. We are still in the decimals, everybody, with a 9.1 for this episode. I, fun fact, hated this episode when it originally aired, but my second viewing, it vastly improved. When I first watched Crusaders of the Lost Mark, I thought it was an appalling culmination of the Cutie Mark Crusaders' desire to earn their cutie marks. But upon a second viewing with a more mature mindset, I can officially say that my tables on the episode turned a full 180 degrees. The marvelous songs that make up most of the episode are individually unique in their own regard, centered around political slander, family discrimination, and class negligence.
It's time to make a change to be the pony I wanna be. We'll make our mark.
Apple Bloom, Scootaloo, and Sweetie Belle's performances fire on all cylinders, and the redemption of Diamond Tiara was so satisfying with the revelation of knowing how she was brought up. The Cutie Mark Crusaders may have regularly been handed the dullest of scripts and stories, but Crusaders of the Lost Mark is their masterpiece, no question. And so we have our bottom 5, but now we are coming to our top 5, and I'm really excited. In number 5, we have A Royal Problem. And this is actually, in fact, one of my all-time favorite episodes. It's just a lot of fun, this episode. And Starlight combined with the performances of the princesses and the dream sequence at the end. My God, it's amazing. Put one of the most powerful, previously dangerous unicorns in the world and both princesses into the same room, and you've conjured up the excellence that is A Royal Problem. I still can't believe that this episode was written by my 2 favorite girls and therefore writers, Joanna and Christine. This episode divulged hard into Celestia and Luna's loyal yet strained relationship as it adapts one of the simplest story concepts, stepping into each other's shoes to know everything about one another. It's expertly delivered as Starlight Glimmer shares the foreground, exploring her trauma relapsing from the Cutie Remark finale as her choices in this episode haunt her throughout. Her splendid performance is terribly underrated in this story, and I do really think so, because Starlight doesn't get enough credit for her arc in the whole show. She deserves more love. The reveal of Daybreaker is forever ingrained into my brain.
But can you handle me, Daybreaker? The better, prettier, and more powerful version of you.
And I'll never forget how exciting the last dream battle was. A Royal Problem is a royally great episode. We come to the final row, Fluffbutts. We are getting so close. Number 4 with a 9.2. And it is The Last Problem. It's another kind of problem, and it's the grand finale problem. I will never forget how emotional I got during this episode, because it's the perfect wrap up for the whole show, and I don't think it's a 4 in my opinion. Maybe it's like a 9 or an 8, but this episode was just spectacular. The Last Problem takes the brilliance from the first 2-parter of the show and implements it beautifully into the grand finale. One student not wanting anything to do with friendship before the higher DDDs tell them why they should appreciate it. I mean, did you see the height of Twilight in that episode? Flashbacks define this episode for its entirety, and I honestly believe that was the right call after witnessing how awful Ending of the End's ending was. The retelling of Twilight Sparkle's botched coronation was a barrel of laughs to reminisce on how much we all grew up with the show. All the characters we loved and got to familiarize ourselves with coming back for one last hurrah, and just seeing them aged and matured will always bring a tear to the eye.
This is where the magic lives, how the magic of friendship grows.
The final song was the diamond-encrusted closure for a decade of a delightful show that we all adore. Now we are coming into the top 3, and as you can see, they are colored appropriately with the bronze, silver, and gold. But let's see which one has the wooden spoon. Oh, okay, that was not meant to happen. Oh man, I was doing so well with all these, and now I've just pretty much ruined it. In third place is a canterlot wedding, and still with a 9.2. It was just the perfect end to the second season, and its excellence just shined through so much through the second part. Second part, brilliant. Despite it being a direct reference to William and Catherine's wedding, A Canterlot Wedding is the #1 two-parter episode in Friendship is Magic. Try and change my mind. Its serious ambition is to be admired for how much fantasy and threat is stuffed into its runtime. Part 1 is thrilling, but Part 2 is just outstanding. The dramatic reveal of Queen Chrysalis, the visually stunning battle of the changelings, the musical numbers that define the episode emotionally for the viewers, and the fact that this is also McCarthy's greatest script.
Every pony I'll soon control, every stallion, mare, and foal. Who says a girl can really have it all?
So many elements from the story, Twilight's relationship with Shining Armor and Cadence, the complexity of its themes, and the main 6 on full form with every word they spill out is just mwah, chef's kiss. Oh man, we are almost there. But now we come to the episode that just missed out. Here it is, and it is Twilight's Kingdom Part 2. Oh, because particularly, I don't really think I remember this two-parter much when I first watched it, but I was blown away by the immense scale of this episode, and Twilight's Kingdom is just fantastic. What if there was a monster that can produce a globally endangering threat that sends our heroes to their lowest points? Yep, that's Twilight's Kingdom, and goodness me, it's superb. Although Part 1 contains what I love to call the existential crisis song,
I'm a princess, this is true.
Part 2 practically throws everything out the window, and it gives no fucks. Tyrek's increasing dominion over Equestria is always a sight to behold, and it low-key scared me at first when I was an innocent 17-year-old. Twilight's ferocious nature directly facing him off gives me goosebumps every time I re-watch Part 2.
Now I understand what your fellow princesses have done.
Its final battle was absolutely insane, and the story arc that connects Season 4's episodes gets its deserved payoff with the chest finally opening. The ending was so happy and positive, and it wrapped up neatly, securing Season 4's reputation as the superior series in Friendship is Magic. So, Fluffbutts, we have the 9 greatest episodes ever in the history of Friendship is Magic. But now we have come to the #1 episode ever. But Fluffbutts, do I really need to explain what this episode is? Because it needs no introduction. I'll give you a moment to write your thoughts about it in the comments if you know what it is. It's so predictable. Are you done? Yep, you guessed it right. It's the perfect pair. Yep, you guessed it right. Yep, I have no argument about that because, oh shit, this episode just destroyed me. Honestly guys, couldn't have the top episode of the show been anything else? It's pretty much general consensus at this point. The perfect pair is just perfection. I would even consider it to be Friendship is Magic's magnum opus. And guess who wrote this masterpiece? Joanna and Christine. Thank you so much, ladies. You are such talented writers. Critically acclaimed for its magical storytelling of Applejack's parents, Bright Mac and Pear Butter, and posthumously establishing the events that tragically happened because of it. For an episode half set in the present and half told through flashbacks, the structure is tremendously organized when the Apple trio visit all the characters that had an impact on their parents' lives.
They had that magical, star-kissed, other side of a rainbow kind of love.
I didn't see him for weeks. Not that he minded. Gave him a chance to get to know your mom.
One day, your mom brought me some candied pears, eggs, flour, sugar, and vanilla, and told me to just be creative.
But I did play a part in their love story. I think that's my cue.
Do you see, Slice of Life? This is how you show your background characters the proper kind of appreciation. The family feuds are obviously inspired from Romeo and Juliet, but it works fittingly gathering the idea that the apples couldn't have been the only ones giving Ponyville its succulent nutrients all the time. You're in My Head Like a Catchy Song was so sweet and gorgeously performed by Felicia Day, and it continues to open my floodgates.
I know we are the perfect pair. You're in my head like a catchy song.
The wedding scene is presented so beautifully again, and before just upfront disowns his daughter, I still get so hot-headed because of that moment.
Are you choosing to be an apple over being a pear?
I guess I am.
Fine!
And then the ending. Do I even need to explain so? Seeing the apple and pear trees entangled together shatters my heart, and the response from the families just makes me wish we could have spent more time with the kindest of parents every brony wishes they could have. The perfect pair is exactly what it says on the tin. It's the perfect episode.
If anything's gonna make it through, it's apples and pears.
And there you have it, Fluffbutts. We have the top 10 greatest episodes ever in the history of Friendship is Magic. Apart, in my opinion, Slice of Life does not deserve to be in the top 10. I think it's at least a top 150 this episode. If you can agree with this list, go ahead and tell me in the comments. And what are your favorite episodes? I would love to know. And don't forget, Fluffbutts, subscribe to my channel for more exciting content just like this and many more coming soon. And also, don't forget to check out my Patreon page down in the description below so you can help me support in making these fantastic videos more consistently. And I shall see you all very soon. Goodbye!